Forsyth County 911.
Hi, yes. I need an ambulance and a police to my home.
What's the address?
She's not moving one bit. She's not breathing.
Okay.
I just try to assess her, touch her. She's completely face down in the yard. She is stiff.
Okay. Do you know if she, do you see any blood or anything where she...
Hey you guys, I appreciate all of you who have been sending me stories regarding the Tamla Horsford situation and the clippings and all the information that you sent. I got this story, I want to say sometime in January, and there wasn't enough information for me to report on it. However, I have read through her police file and I feel as though I have enough to be able to share with you all, even though there is still an independent autopsy that is pending. So I want to share with you all the untimely and suspicious death of Tamla Horsford and what we all can learn from this. So please stay tuned for the video. If it was not for my sponsors, I would not be able to put out documentary style videos and make quality content. I want to take a moment to thank xmoisture.com, your skincare solution, also carmarshall.com, over 100,000 cars in their inventory. While you shop, they will negotiate for you, as well as Ash Kickin and their plethora of products, and Black Currency Unmasked with their gear. So without further ado, we shall get into the video. Tamla Horsford was born October 10th, 1978 in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. She resided in Cumming, Georgia, which is located in the notorious white supremacist haven in Forsyth County. Tamla was married to Leander Horsford, with whom she has 6 children with, and she also had a stepdaughter who is 24 years old. She was a homemaker and she dedicated her life to taking care of her children as well as her husband. She was extremely active in her children's extracurricular activities such as their sporting events, and she would attend their football games. This caused her to form a camaraderie with the other mothers who also had children that were on the football team. So because of this bond, they would also meet up outside of the football games, and on one night in particular, on November 3rd, there was a football mom slumber party which was located at the home of John Meyer. Now Tamla arrived at this party at approximately 9 o'clock that night, and in attendance were white women and 3 men. Now Tamla was the only black woman there, but the women that were present was obviously the woman of the home, which was John. There was a woman named Nicole, Marcy, Bridget, Jennifer, Sarah, Paula, Stacy, and Madeline, who is actually the aunt of John. The 3 men that were in attendance was Jose Barrera, who is the boyfriend of John, Michael, as well as Thomas, who is the husband of Stacy. During the party, everyone was having a good time and drinks were flowing, and Tamla was enjoying herself. As time went on, some of the partygoers began to go home, and the first to leave was actually Nicole and Sarah, and they left at about 10:30 that night on November 3rd. Now the next day, at approximately 1:47 in the morning, Bridget left. Then around 4:10 a.m., Marcy left. Then around 7:45 that morning, Paula left. And at 8:30 in the morning, Tom and Stacy left together. Now at this point, if you notice, Tamla has not left. At about 8:45 in the morning, Madeline discovered that Tamla was in the backyard face down, and she initially thought she was sleeping until she looked closer at the positioning of her body, and she alerted Jose and Jean. At about 8:59 in the morning, Jean and Jose decided to make a call to 911 to get the police involved because her body positioning caused for alarm. I want to play for you guys a clip of their 911 call.
Forsyth County 911.
Hi, yes. I need an ambulance and a police to my home.
What's the address? What is your name?
My name is John Myers, Jeanne. Yes.
Okay, what's going on?
We had people over last night. We were drinking. Most of us went to bed. One of them stayed on the balcony. She was drinking, and we just went outside, and she's laying face down in the backyard. It looks like, I'm guessing, maybe she fell off the balcony, but she's stiff.
Okay, is she breathing?
I don't know if she's face down.
Okay, how old is she?
41. Here, hold on.
Hey, this is Jose Barrera.
Hey, have y'all checked to see if she's breathing?
She's not moving one bit. She's not breathing.
Okay.
I just try to assess her, touch her. She's completely face down in the yard. She is stiff.
Okay. Do you know if she, do you see any blood or anything where she, my call dropped. Are you there?
I am.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was outside.
It's okay. I'm not sure what happened to the line there for a second. Do you see any blood or anything to where from where she fell?
I don't know if I should move her over. I mean, she is completely face down.
Okay. I mean, can you just check and see if she's breathing? If she's not breathing and you know she's gone, then just leave her where she's at. If she, okay.
I'm completely not sure.
Okay, and that's the only blood that you would see?
That's what I can see without moving her over. I haven't seen her face.
Do you know if she was suicidal at all?
I have no clue. I've met her one other time. You know, like my girlfriend said, people were over last night. It was her birthday party. We're not the woman that we believe to be deceased, but it's my girlfriend's birthday party. Instead of having everybody go out, she had everyone stay in. And she was the last one I saw before everybody was typically put off to bed. And she was the last one in the kitchen. She was just either waiting around for a ride or waiting until the morning.
Okay. How far is the where she would have fell from? How far is the deck from the ground?
I would probably say 20 feet.
Okay.
20 feet from where your feet would be on the railing. The railing itself is maybe 3.5, 4 feet.
Okay. And what is her name?
I know her name. We call her Tam. I'm assuming that's short for Tammy or Tamra. Her name is Tam Horsford, Horsford, so a black female. I don't believe anybody was. My girlfriend has cameras here on the back deck that we can check.
Okay.
That I think would have caught the incident if she fell from here. Again, I don't know. It's hard to say if she fell from the deck or if she was already downstairs. She was the only smoker here, and I'm sorry. There's a lot of information.
Do you think she's possibly out there smoking?
Yeah, she was the only smoker. I mean, I'm on the back deck right now, and cigarettes, lighter, that type of thing are out here.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see where on her wrist might have came from.
Okay. All right. Are all the people that were there last night, are they still at your house?
Okay, there are 4 people that were here last night that are no longer here.
Okay. And they just left this morning, or they leave last night?
Do you know roughly what time each of them left? Like, who they completely on a city? We can check. She's got an alarm system that gives alerts when the doors are open on her phone.
Okay.
But I think the last time that I personally saw Tam was probably about 1 in the morning before I'd gone upstairs to bed.
Okay.
And at that point, she was the only one in the kitchen. I know.
Okay.
At about 9:07 that morning, the first officer arrives at the scene and Tamla is unresponsive, and detectives from the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit, Crime Scene Investigation Unit, and an investigator from the Forsyth County Coroner's Office responded to the scene. Tamla was found clothed in a white one-piece pajama set that had gray paw prints, and she was wearing red socks with multicolored star patterns. However, she was not wearing any shoes. She was in a prone position with her legs extended straight, and her left arm was alongside her body and it was bent at an obtuse angle. Her right arm was extended down the side of her body. During the initial crime scene investigation, they located her items, which was a pink bag that had clothing, it had a black wallet, and she had another purple bag. She also had a clear plastic bag containing a green leafy substance, and in the black wallet they found Florida's driver's license as well as $1. Now, the police stated residents of the home said she brought a tequila bottle that was an 1/8 full full and that she was the only one that was drinking from it. After their initial crime scene investigation, she was transported by the coroner's office to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations for an autopsy. During her autopsy, they found that she had the following injuries: abrasions of the face, bleeding on the brain, and these are blunt force injuries of the head and neck. She also had blunt force injuries of the torso and extremities such as laceration of the right ventricle of the heart, a dislocated right wrist, a laceration on her right wrist and her right lower leg, as well as an abrasion of her left arm, left hand, and left leg. They also conducted a toxicology report and found that she had THC in her system. Her blood alcohol level was 0.238, and she also had Xanax in her system. Medical examiner Andrew Koopmeiners opined that the cause of Tamla's death was multiple blunt force injuries, as well as the manner of her death being an accident. Now, something that was a bit eye-opening to me was that they listed her time of injury at 1:30 that morning, yet her hour of death being at 10:47 a.m., which was well after they discovered that she was in the backyard. And around 1:30 was when one of them claimed that they were going to go ahead and go to sleep. And it is believed that she was drunk and fell off the balcony. So after this was conducted in November, the partygoers were questioned. One thing for sure that raised brows was the fact that they came into the interview room with gifts for the officers, which the officers alleged that they declined. That alone was pretty odd. And some of their responses were alarming. One of them were asked how drunk they believed that Tamla was at the party, and they responded and said she didn't seem drunk at all. I also want to read you guys the statements of the person that stated that Tamla said that she wanted to go home. She felt good. She made the comment she was just going to go ahead and go home, and I said no, and she said I'm fine. And then that's when Tom and Stacy were like, absolutely not. Promise us you won't drive, because she wasn't stumbling, and that's why we're so confused. She wasn't stumbling. Then they went on to say, but she respected that we said don't drive home, it's not safe, so I don't know. At this point, the story had not gone viral. Nobody was speaking about it. No one even really knew about it. I was sent an email about it earlier this year, but I hadn't had much information come out. And Tamla's family and friends was really pushing for this story to get out in the media, and one friend in particular, India Rochelle, was sharing it all over social media and trying to get the world to help her as well as her family understand what really happened to Tamla. So Mike Pichenick of WSB TV decided to break the story, and he released the information on what was known about the case thus far. Now, this sparked a response from the homeowner, Jean, and of course at that point she lawyered up. Now let me show you something that's very conflicting that her lawyer stated and what she stated herself. Her lawyer made a statement February 15, 2019 and stated this: at present, this will be the only statement made on behalf of the quote-unquote homeowner as described in the various social media postings and news stories. At this time, our client, as well as each person who was present on November 4, 2018, has completely cooperated with law enforcement officers in attempting to give the family and friends answers with regard to the tragic death of Tamla Horsford. Every aspect of our client's life has been investigated. She has provided answers to every question asked by the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office. Although the investigation has not been closed, to the best of our knowledge, Mrs. Horsford, well, they should have said Mrs., but it says Miss Horsford's death certificate has been issued by the Forsyth County coroner. According to the coroner, the official cause of death was determined to have been caused by an accidental fall from a residential deck. In addition, the death certificate also states that the acute ethanol intoxication was a significant condition contributing to Mrs. Horsford's death. At this time, each of the partygoers and their families have received death threats on various social media postings. This needs to stop. This tragic accident is exactly that, an accident. It is unfortunate, sad, and unbelievably heartbreaking to her family and friends. However, certain very vocal friends and family members of Mrs. Horsford have been describing the accident as a murder. Nothing could be farther from the truth. We're asking for the community and media to please respect the privacy and safety of our client and others who are at the party. Sandra Rose has also been reporting the story, and on the blog, they captured a post that was allegedly made by the homeowner, Jean. It says, late Saturday night, a very tragic incident occurred at my home where we lost one of our dear friends. While the cause of death is still unknown, please refrain from speculating as to what happened until the medical examiner releases the results. There was no fall from my deck. In order to respect her family, please refrain from spreading idle gossip and speculating as to what happened. Now is the time to pull together and support them. Of course, because of these statements that are directly conflicting one another, the family friend, Michelle Graves, has spoken out regarding what she feels has happened, and I want to play for you guys a clip of what she stated.
Her very much.
Michelle Graves gave us this picture of her close friend, Tamla Horsford.
Just always would do anything for anybody.
Last November, the mother of 5 mysteriously died after attending a birthday party at this Forsyth County home.
Because, of course, the original story we got was that she just drank too much and it was alcohol poisoning and she passed away.
Graves says the way she understands it, her friend may have fallen to her death from this balcony in the backyard.
We just want to know what happened to her.
Graves says party attendees tried to intimidate her by having her arrested when she started asking questions. She says she learned from a warrant application someone had accessed her information.
In my work, my phone, my mom's cell phone, my driver's license number.
Tamla's father, Kirtland St. DeJour, also spoke out, and he did an over-the-phone interview with a radio host, DJ Cameron, where he discussed that the family plans to do an independent autopsy report, and he also discussed that she sustained some post-mortem injuries, such as the broken wrist, and that there was no pool of blood found under her, even though she had cuts. Situations where the stories are not corroborating is causing not only the family to doubt, but it's also causing the public to feel as if there's some sort of cover-up going on. As I stated, the story did not initially have any media attention whatsoever, and now because it's receiving traction, last week the Forsyth County Sheriff's Department made an announcement that the investigation is closed. Tamla's husband stated that Officer Perkins informed him about an hour before the press conference was released of them closing the investigation that they could get a public filing of the report if they wanted to. Now, not only has the witnesses been raising eyebrows with their statements, but the cherry behavior of the owner's boyfriend, Jose Barrera, has also caused people to be skeptical. At the time of her death, he was a pretrial services officer at the Forsyth County court system. He abused his privilege to look up the police files regarding the death of Tamla. After doing so, there was an investigation that was conducted, and he was terminated after the county found out that it breached their trust. There's also been allegations of other women, such as one that he is part of a case, another which he is a witness for regarding a stalking case. He allegedly looked up her information, as well as the close friend Michelle Graves has also alleged that he looked up her personal information and released it to the public. However, they conducted an investigation for that and claimed that they didn't find anything. Even though they fired him, of course, they always get rehired, and it has been alleged that he was rehired at another position at Forsyth County. Of course, his actions would cause you to question, why did he look up her information if he did nothing wrong? The county tried to state that he probably did it because he was just curious, but curiosity would not make a person that feels as if they did nothing wrong look into a file to see if there's anything that could potentially implicate them in anything. What would drive you to look up that information, and why was it so important that your job was worth the risk? I think what we also must take into account is that Forsyth is a redneck central and a white supremacist playground. It is also a notorious sundown town. In 1912, they had a campaign in which they went on an all-black lynching and expulsion of black people, where all 1,098 black residents were forced out of Forsyth County, and they claim that they did this to protect the white women from being raped by black men due to a young white woman named Mae Crow who was found beaten and bloodied in the woods under suspicious circumstances, and a black man named Rob Edwards was lynched as a result, and white supremacist onlookers fired bullets into his corpse. They went on to lynch teenagers Oscar Daniel as well as Ernest Knox, and instead of them actually finding out who murdered Mae, they decided to take it out on these black men, and black people had to suffer as a result and had to be forced to relocate. Now, this county was also featured on the OWN network, where Oprah interviewed angry white supremacists who discussed their disdain for black people living anywhere in their county, and this was in the 80s, which is not long ago at all. So I highly doubt that this same bloodthirsty satanic white supremacist mindset has miraculously escaped the predominantly white county. And if any of you come to this video talking about this video is not about race, be prepared to be blocked, and you will never be unblocked. This case has way too many holes. One, the reason why this case did not get any media attention is because she's black. Two, the reason why this case did not initially go viral is because she's black. Three, the reason why justice has not been served is because she's black. Why, if you guys were so concerned about her drinking and driving, couldn't one of you call an Uber or give her a ride home? If she said she wanted to go home, why were you guys insisting on making her stay? There were other means of transportations, and you guys did not offer that for her. Also, this Xanax, where did this Xanax come from? I do remember seeing that the owner of the home did say that she used the anti-anxiety medication, but I don't know if she gave it to her. And people have a right to be skeptical. It's too many unanswered questions. Why was it that they said that they have cameras in the back and they don't? They have a security system that gives timestamps of when the door is opened, and the timestamps that they gave when the door was opened, these people were allegedly leaving and some were going to sleep. However, on the autopsy report, it says that her injury occurred at 1:30. One of the witnesses said that they were going to sleep. I believe it was Jose. And how are you going to sleep around the time that this injury happened and you guys didn't hear anything? She weighed 156 pounds, and the height of this deck was 10 to 15 feet. That would be a pretty loud thud that would wake up anyone. I cannot realistically see people sleeping soundly through such a loud noise like that. And also when you think about the timestamps of when the door was closing and when it was opening, at one point the door never closed again. You guys were willing to sleep the whole night with the door open. Nobody was worrying about the gust of wind that was coming in. And also her father made a good point. There were post-mortem injuries. Where did those injuries come from? Why wasn't there a pool of blood under her? If you fall from that feet, you are going to be bleeding. It's too many questions that these people are not answering, and unfortunately the investigators are not going to answer it. So I support the family in getting an independent autopsy conducted. Ultimately, this case saddens me to have to report. This is a horrific case that has destroyed her family. I have a feeling that she probably didn't know the history of sundown towns, or her family probably didn't know, and felt as though it was a harmless county to live in and thought it would be a good idea to fraternize with the people there. And worst of all, her children have to suffer every day without their mother, without being able to lay with her, smell her, go and taste her cooking. Her husband's wife is no longer here. Her family, her parents no longer have her. And Black people, this is a warning to you all. Please know who your enemies are. Before moving into an area that you are unfamiliar with, you have to do your research on knowing the history of these towns. And thankfully, there is a database that someone created where he has located potential sundown towns in Georgia, and we need more of these across the United States so that Black people can have a better understanding of who they are surrounded by. I know white supremacy is everywhere, and we have to be united to share with one another how to maneuver through this wicked system, but I would be willing to support those sort of databases so that Black people could be fully prepared in the type of mindset in these different cities that they're living in, not only for their sake, but for their children's sake as well. I can imagine that if this is what their county's sheriff's department is like, just imagine what the school system is like. Just imagine what the medical system is like, what their banking system is like. All across the board, this is a problematic county, and they consistently have these deaths where Black people are dying and they're not getting adequate justice. The family has a GoFundMe page where they are needing support, so please go and support anything that you can, whether it's $5, $10, it all adds up, and we all need to support this family because this is not just about Tamla. This could affect us all. I could be Tamla, you could be Tamla, your kids could be Tamla, and all of this is caused by us not knowing the different towns that we're living in and placing too much trust into these people that have shown us throughout history that we should probably keep our distance from some of them. What we need to start doing is automatically assuming the worst with these people and letting them prove to you that they do not have the mindset that has cost millions of Black people their lives. So I hope that the family will get justice. I look forward to reporting about the independent autopsy that will be conducted independent of the state. And please, please, please support the family. Let me know down below in your comment section, what do you feel we can do to combat situations like this? I really feel like a great alternative would be creating these statewide databases for Black people to know what type of towns they live in. Please let me know if you would support that. I'm very sorry for the family. I send my utmost condolences. And the family has actually requested that some of you guys remove the photos that show pictures of their children. The children are underage in these pictures, and they just would hope that you guys would have some common courtesy. Her husband has not made a public statement just yet, so please just allow them to have time. And I hope that you guys honor their request. So please, you guys, share this video around. We need so much awareness for this case. Please, again, go and support the GoFundMe. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video.